Welcome to Cybersecurity Connection, where we bring you, the viewer, a new nightly guest with at least one junior cybersecurity role, along with other cybersecurity and IT related roles. My tonight's guest will be discussing the automotive industry to include embedded systems and open jobs inside of that industry. If you look under the video, there are links to various content we were discussed during this live discussion, including my guest contact info and how to contact the guest. My guest this evening is Collen Riccinto. Over to you.
Hey, thank you, Justin, so much. And I appreciate the cybersecurity job connection for having me on today. Like Justin mentioned, my name is Colleen Riccinto. The name of my firm is Cyber Talent Search. I'm based out of Southeast Michigan, and for the past 3 years have been having tons of fun helping people connect talent and opportunities within the embedded and automotive security space.
And so going right into that whole automotive industry, can you talk a little bit more about like who maybe you represent or what type of positions that you kind of have seen over the last few years?
Absolutely. So the automotive and embedded security industry keeps growing and it's becoming its own ecosystem. Not only are there the traditional OEM suppliers, we think of Ford, GM, Chrysler, Toyota, Nissan, but there's a host of tier one suppliers, tier two suppliers, and even companies that you might not think of having an interest in the automotive security ecosystem, such as telematics providers or even insurance companies.
Yeah, because that's a big piece. Like how do you protect those systems from outside, or even if they are physically at the car or truck or whatever the vehicle actually is. So, like you said, there's a lot of players there in that ecosystem that are really wanting to see it, secured. Especially like you said with that insurance company and things like that. That's a insurance risk that they run, especially whenever you see news of, hey, this car was able to be hijacked remotely in 5 seconds or something like that. That's a big impact against that automotive, branch. But also they have insurers and everything else that they have to contend with. That they have to prove that, hey, we meet those standards that we're setting forth. So I think that's a big ticket item with that piece. So, like, going a little bit more into that whole embedded systems, can you speak a little bit more to that whenever it comes to automotive industry?
Sure. So if you think about a car, for example, the electrical components of a car make up about 50% of the total cost of manufacturing a car. And some cars on the market today have over 1 million lines of code on them. And that's more code in a commercial airplane. So when you think about all the code and all the different attack surfaces that uh, could be a could be a threat, the whole idea of securing a car or any type of vehicle, it could be also be a heavy duty truck, that certainly is a growing area at the embedded or the ECU level becomes very, very critical. And one key group of people that I forgot that are certainly part of this discussion is the silicon and the microchip providers as well.
And yeah, that's a key element. There is there. It's not just one manufacturer or one element of manufacturing. So you might have the actual CPU itself, the actual onboard memory, different aspects of that embedded system that each player has to field, and that end unit, whoever it might be, has to say yes, this is what we're taking. So they're worried about the supply chain, every little aspect going all the way into it. And like you mentioned, that whole million lines, of coding into this little car that you just purchased. Like, hey, well, why does it have all this? Well, because there's all these factors that play in. because you have that lane keep assist, all those different little things that beep at you. Well, that's like you said, that's a lot of code. That's just not something that's just randomly there. That's like, oh well, let me beep at you because you crossed the line. No, that's hundreds, if not thousands, of people that poured in thousands, if not millions, of hours over across the entire industry to ensure that it does what it's meant to do. And then of course the cybersecurity aspect of it is ensuring it is always secure. Your car doesn't just all of a sudden stop in the middle of the road because some hacker in some foreign country just decided to have fun with it. So
Right.
that's a good point. So let's jump right into. Before we jump into it, her details are below. Her email address and her LinkedIn information is directly below the video. So do reach out to her. She does have jobs available. And as she'll probably tell you in a little bit, please send the resume and things in, and she'll see if there's a match for you currently or possibly in the future. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So let me just tell you a little bit about my philosophy as a recruiter and how I got into this whole recruiting space. Before I got into recruiting, I had an award-winning career in business development and sales. I decided that I wanted to do a career pivot, and a friend of mine said, "Well, Colleen, I think you'd make a great recruiter." And I said, "Recruiter, what's that?" I really had no idea what the profession was. And I researched the profession, I studied the industry. And when I realized that I could help candidates and people out there looking for real meaningful work to really make a difference in people's lives, these are people who are technical experts, really have so much to give, where I could connect these people, talk to them about their dreams, hopes, and desires, and connect them with companies who really need great talent to achieve their business goals, that would just be an amazing thing. And so that's what I get the joy and honor of doing, serving people and serving companies every single day. And it gives me no greater joy than to help a candidate really find their dream job and to help a company find that critical employee that they need to achieve their goals. I also want to stress I attend many automotive security events and conferences. I was just in Detroit these past 2 days at a automotive security conference, and the entire automotive industry ecosystem is incredibly committed to cybersecurity and safety and information sharing, and are doing the tabletop exercises and the planning to ensure that when some unfortunate incident strikes, that the industry is really prepared.
So, what a lot of my viewers always want is hear a little bit about jobs. So, before we jump
Yeah,
into the whole job market, where typically are you, like Detroit, Michigan? Or are you nationwide? Like, typically, where do you kind of focus at?
sure. Great question. So I actually have job opportunities in Southeast Michigan in the Detroit area. I have job opportunities in Canada, and I also have job opportunities in Tokyo, Japan. So it's really neat to see just how global the industry is. So a few things about kind of the jobs that I have open and the skill sets that I'm in particular need for. One of the jobs that I'm looking to fill that's very much in demand is a principal cybersecurity expert or a technical fellow type of a role. And this is someone that is deep in embedded systems, deep in cryptography, who's ready to take all their career knowledge and growth and speak at conferences, be on the standards committees, and be that automotive cybersecurity expert in the embedded space. I also have a similar role for more of a PhD consultant type of a role, where this person would use their expertise in security Not necessarily have an automotive background, but have a strong traditional security background, a strong cryptography background, and sit on a team with people who do have expertise in the automotive industry, if that doesn't happen to be your expertise, and really add your high level security knowledge. I also have roles for testing and validation, whether that's pen testing, fuzz testing. Those are certainly critical roles. I have junior level consultant roles, people who want to have a variety of work on different types of customer projects. I have roles available with OEMs. I have roles available with tier ones. I have roles available with startup companies. But the thing that I would value the most is having meaningful connections and conversations with people who are serious about the embedded security space. I may or may not have a job for you today or right now, but I am committed to this space to the long haul, and I'm committed to long-term relationships with candidates. So please give me a call, send me your resume, email me. I would really love to talk to anyone who is eager to get into the embedded space or who is already in the embedded or automotive security space and wants to see what opportunities are out there. I also have contacts within industrial control systems and really anything that's embedded. Medical devices too are another area of embedded security where there's a lot of risk and a lot of work to be done.
Awesome. So, probably a good chunk of my viewers, so it gives and takes, but majority of them are more to like the junior level. So there may be a recent college graduate with a bachelor's of like cyber or some type of IT field. Maybe security plus, maybe help desk experience, things of that nature. How often do you see roles that you have available over the last year or so that they could possibly fill?
I do. So I recently placed a person who came straight out of university with embedded experience and got him a job at a tier one supplier doing security work. So definitely, I love to talk to new recent graduates. I was a professor at a community college for a number of years back, so I do have a heart for students and would welcome the opportunity to talk to students, particularly those people who have an embedded interest. Even if you don't have security experience, but if you have a computer science degree, an electrical engineering degree, or knowledge, or even just a hobbyist, and you might have a degree in art history, but in your basement you have a bunch of Raspberry Pis and embedded systems and controllers and robots, and you've been breaking stuff and having fun with it. Those are great people to talk to.
Awesome, awesome. So, like we said, can you go over one more time, but like kind of the locations you're fielding for again?
Sure. So my my main area is Southeast Michigan, and in the Midwest, I have opportunities sometimes in California. I also have opportunities in Canada and opportunities in Tokyo, Japan.
So pretty much anywhere, kind of. So some of the major cities,
Pretty much
to say at least.
there, and a lot of companies now, for the right person, will let them work remote.
Gotcha. What Oh, so you said something about remote, correct? So you do have remote opportunities sometimes.
I do.
Okay, awesome. So that's another thing for the viewers that are watching it today, a week from now, a month from now. This is possibly an opportunity to get remote role. So please email her, contact her. So going a little bit more into it, what's typically like we said with that whole junior level? how often do you see that whole like someone graduated college? How receptive is the automotive industry or the cyber side to get those new people into that pipeline? Do you see that pretty receptive, or is it kind of a hard jump to get into?
I would say that they're very receptive. I think the the key for a junior level person who wants especially to get into the embedded or automotive side of security is to get involved with the Cyber Auto Challenge or the Cyber Truck Challenge.
Yeah.
Those are very competitive programs where students can apply to come to Michigan for a week and learn hands-on with industry experts.
Now, is that a paid event or is that a out of that person's pocket? Do you know?
No, it's a paid event for the individuals who are selected.
Wow. So see, I didn't even know about this. So that's something that I think a lot of people would probably jump at. Take that 1 week of getting into that whole industry and understanding more about the industry. So that's a big ticket item. I'm going to turn it over to a couple questions that I did get in. Nate asked, do the positions in Japan require you to speak the native language?
No.
Okay. And then the next one I have is Tamika. I asked, do you have a website so we can look for job opportunities, or is this more of a connect with you and just message you type thing?
This is a connect with me and message me kind of a thing. I don't even have a website. I just have my LinkedIn page. So much of what I do is on a one-on-one relationship basis with both my clients and my candidates. I really don't have the time to post jobs on a job board and sift through candidates who might not meet the qualifications. But if you send me your resume or message me on LinkedIn, I'm more than happy to reach out to you and give you some critique of your resume or point you in the right direction. But if you're looking for a job as a entry level security analyst for a financial institution, I'm not your recruiter for that. There's many great ones. It's just that's not the niche that I've specialized in. If you can't get enough C and embedded and love cryptography and love working on microcontrollers, then call me up and I would love to chat with you and see how I can help you with your career goals.
And that's another point about this whole thing. She is open. Do connect with her. She will take that look over on your resume. And if she can't put you in a job, maybe she can. There's other people in the field that she knows that she can maybe point you over to. So it's not well, it just went into some pile and it's just going to stay there type mentality. No, she's going to definitely do that one-on-one mentality. So I had another question from Will. He asked, what month of the year is that Cyber Challenge?
Oh, it's over the summer. I want to say the Cyber Auto Challenge is in July, and the Cyber Truck Challenge is in June.
Okay.
And if you just Google Cyber Auto Challenge or Cyber Truck Challenge, you can get the websites with information on how to apply.
And I'm going to put those links actually below the video once this is uploaded. So do look at that. So maybe if you didn't get in this year, but possibly next year. And again, that's that 1 week, like you referenced, where you can definitely get into it and meet some people, not just learn, but you're also, rubbing elbows and talking to people inside the industry that could potentially point you to that next position that you have. So that's not just the only reason why you go to these events and these little training camps and things like that. It's also to network with different people. So then I had Jasmine just basically said this kind of sounds like the automotive version of the collegiate cyber defense competition. Is that kind of
similar? Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask for if there's any more questions. If there are, that's great. If not, do you have any parting words, a couple minutes, to people that are new to the industry, even if it's not? Let's go a little more into what you specialize in with embedded systems, automotive, but in general also of someone just now graduating, just now jumping into the field, maybe a year or two of IT experience.
What I would say is don't give up and don't quit. I think oftentimes in the cybersecurity space, everybody hears, oh my gosh, there's so many open jobs, there's so much demand. And we kind of set this expectation for candidates that they're going to send 10 resumes and get 10 job offers, and people are going to be lined up outside their doorstep. And it just doesn't work that way. Even with the cybersecurity job shortage. So it takes persistence, it takes courage. The very first job you get might not be your dream job, but it will certainly get you a foot in the door. And find find a mentor, find multiple mentors, find a good recruiter to work with in your niche who you can build a relationship with. So when the job does come open, maybe 3, 5, 10 years down the road, that person knows your strengths and interests and what you want to do.
And so with that, so no more questions. So we did fill the few questions that did come in. I want to say thank you, and I know the viewers tonight and in the future will probably be reaching out to you and communicating with you for possible job roles inside that embedded systems for automotive or other parts of the industry. So again, thank you for being a guest host on the channel.
Justin, thank you so much for all that you do and for all that you pour into the cybersecurity job connection and for your servant leadership to the industry. It's really, really appreciated. So kudos to you.
Thank you so much. And with that, thank you for tuning in to Cybersecurity Connection, where we connect you to a new recruiter focused on cybersecurity each and every night. Tonight, we did discuss the automotive and the embedded systems, and the link to the job to hard contact is below, along with that automotive week off, basically, below also. See you again Monday night. Thank you.